Nyjackie, yeah.
Here we go. So they have 8 seconds left here. Ooh.
Karma Lulu.
You actually aren't sure.
Yeah,
if
but
it's
you know the type of champion at the very least. When we saw this from Cloud9 Tempest, it was mid Lulu and support Karma. If it was TSM, that would probably be the other way around, but we'll see. And so you know the setup. It's 2 in-your-face, high-damage, fairly squishy frontliners with dual support.
A lot of jumping around.
And a self-sufficient AD.
And the Ari. We knew that's kind of all he had left. Against a bunch of shields, you know, how effective is it really going to be?
Well, last time Coast won, it was splitting them up and getting individual picks. You've got Charms, you've got Cocoons, you've got Dark Bindings, and you've got Rocks to follow through at the end. You get them low enough, Daydreamin can pick that last kill up.
And the big thing here for Coast is they, again, have adequate follow-up for Dark Bindings.
Yes, they do.
On a bunch of pretty squishy targets for compLexity.Black. It does look like they're going to be doing that Lulu in the mid lane. So a ton of shields coming from compLexity.Black and a boatload of mobility on their team. They're going to be looking to fly around and dodge everything in this one. And I think so much of it has to do with Brokenshard's early game against Nintendo, whether or not he can shut down Elise.
It's going to be a very big deal. Lots of points here in this match. Hyper important. Who lands the skills? Who makes the right moves? Coast backs against the wall. They got a 2-0 at this point. compLexity.Black 1 game away from the LCS.
Yes, they are.
And before we head into the game, hop on Twitter and share your predictions for us for the game with us.
Yes, tweet us at LOL Esports. Use the hashtag CLBWin or CSTWin for compLexity.Black and Coast. And it's crazy that the start of this series with the way Game 1 went just set us up for so much story here. And obviously with compLexity.Black coming out, the beneficiaries of that, it's almost like they could sneak the series away from Coast here.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It counts as a win, but it doesn't feel like one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, they were winning the early game too. It was just like the hard-fought Zion split push that brought Coast back in. It was weird because like CLB was winning that game for the first like 15, 20 minutes. And then it went the other way, then it went back. And that's how League is played though, is do you outplay your opponent? You can build an advantage, you can lose an advantage. You can get yourself back in. And one of the big stories for me this series has been Brokenshard smiting. He secured 1 or 2 Barons under Nintendude's nose, one of which helped secure the game.
And here's the things that we've learned in the first 3 games of this series. Westrice has been no match for ZionSpartan. On Lee Sin, he might look to trade a little bit better in lane because players who can play top lane Lee Sin have been doing fantastically the last few weeks. Brokenshard's early invades have been key. Probably has been better than Shiphtur, and if Coast gets a good level 1, they're generally transitioning the game.
compLexity.Black lost a ward. Bubbadub put it down, and it got killed by the Coast members, so.
That hurts.
It's 105 gold swing right there. No, 100 gold swing. I can do math.
We also know that ROBERTxLEE and Bubbadub, if left to a 2v2, can destroy WizFujiiN and Daydreamin.
Yeah.
It's actually not what you would have expected here, that compLexity.Black is the team that doesn't want to lane swap because they were so good at it in the Challenger Series, outsmarting teams, but now that everyone's copied their strategies, they're just going back to laning, and that's actually their strength against Coast, which is not what we expected coming into this series. Coast is known for their solo lane prowess. And Shiphtur hasn't lived up to the bill. ZionSpartan absolutely has. And I'd say their bottom lane, WizFujiiN and Daydreamin, have fallen under expected. Unless Daydreamin is landing bindings, in which case he was great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, here we go, though. It's going to be the 2-on-1 once again. We'll see how it plays out. Is it 4-on-1? Is it 3-on-4? Is it backwards 2-on-1s with top laners with supports? We're going to see compLexity.Black move in for the blue buff invade. They don't go through wards, but it looks like Coast still got where they wanted to be. Zion and Nintendude going to start dueling this blue buff with a ward to help make sure it's safe. That'll be Zion taking plenty of the damage here. Westrice going for the early recall. He will be joining that top lane turret.
They need to send a whole bunch more if he wants to avoid getting doped. That recall really doesn't accomplish anything as of yet.
Well, there's the Karma recall.
What the?
This is the 3. Oh, okay, no, he's walking back.
Westrice, yeah, he recalled from the jungle and then ran to the lane. He just wasted 15 seconds, I would say.
Did he expect to be recalling on top of a ward to fake out the opposition?
Maybe that's what he expected, but he's not faking out anybody at the moment. outsmarting himself a little bit right there. 4-man push for Coast.
Zion, what?
Taking damage, so his E will do more.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Yep.
That is super smart. ZionSpartan
damage.
It's like 20 AD off that, but worth it. Turret's on a half HP on this one. The smite comes through WizFujiiN, plenty of damage with the rocket launcher.
Yeah, he gains an additional 0.4 attack damage for each percentage of health he's missing.
So about 30 to 35 damage he's getting out of that one. And there we go, turret number 1, slightly slower from Coast. To be expected going towards the top lane here. Looks to be a fairly equal trade. Brokenshard already making his way back across towards the jungle. He doesn't need to help push. He's going to secure a red buff. And maybe that might mean more. We're going to see actually almost everyone recalling.
Yeah, compLexity.Black's not going for that second turret. They're going to take some damage on it, but they're definitely going to be down a turret in this trade.
Can they heal in time for a dragon or something? I'm surprised by this move.
I honestly feel like what happened with Westrice was just a mind game failure for them. They thought they were outsmarting them. They thought they were going to maybe juke counter push and stop the push from Coast, but Coast just continued to go through. And Westrice takes a bite into the face. He's still level 1, lost both turrets. WizFujiiN does have an extended period of time. He may end up getting that turret regardless.
But the early rotation, though, compLexity.Black are already there to stop the heals. One heal used, Brokenshard now caught out. He does not have flash. He's been exhausted, but Coast are routed. Damage comes through.
Oh, they're gonna keep going.
The Bubbadub. Daydreamin is stuck up as well. Probably is there to take him out, and it's 2 kills compLexity.Black.
2 huge kills, which just slingshot the gold back for them. It means the turret doesn't necessarily matter because they got Coast to overstay and they were able to collapse. First Blood did go to their support, which is a little bit non-ideal, but Karma does scale quite well as far as supports go, plus they can steal this red.
This is great play by CLB. The early recall set them up to fight in that top lane. Sacrificed the turret, got the kills capitalized. Nintendude, he's seen this before, he's gonna back out.
So nice stealing right there. It's really a testing moment now for Nintendude. All split. When he's fallen behind, he has not became relevant in games. If he gets ahead, he's been all right. He can keep the solo lanes going and they can win games that way. But with the season on the line for them, losing this game means they are not in the LCS next split. Getting first blooded, getting buff stolen away from being under-leveled, under-farmed, and out-golded. Can he make it up in this game? Because if he can't, Coach doesn't make it back into the LCS.
Well, here we go, 3-man bottom lane. Bubbadub, ROBERTxLEE there to defend. Actually 4 versus 2, soon to be 4 versus 3. Westrice is freezing. So it's gonna be the Force.
You think
good enough.
People freeze on Ryze because he has great late game skill. I do not agree with the freeze on Lee Sin, especially this early. Let's see if compLexity can hold off this turret.
It doesn't land, but the Cocoon Shard does. Brokenshard forced backwards. ZionSpartan has a black shield, and the damage comes through in the turret, but good wave clear from ROBERTxLEE. Keep this turret in a decent spot. It's not losing health very fast.
It's not, but I mean, one bad binding gets caught, maybe they get hurt a little bit. Nintendude is so low, actually, in levels that he's not a real threat. Even so, this time spent is for farm on a Lee Sin who, yes, he can become a split push threat, but he's going to be against a Mundo anyway. At this point, I want Westrice to be shoving that in as quickly as possible and getting the pressure back on the map. They're already down a turret.
Cocoon's going to miss. Nintendude's got nowhere to go. Gets locked up, has to rappel into the air. And it's going to be Nintendude taking giant damage. Brokenshard finds the kill. Now Zion on the chase. No summoners up anymore. Brokenshard does give the buff to WizFujiiN, but here comes Westrice. Jumps in. Another summoner heal. The slow comes in, but here comes Shiphtur. He's level 6. CLB forced away.
Westrice does teleport in with the level edge, but he is not able to secure a kill. Miraculously, compLexity.Black got a kill 3v4 before all of it happened, which is the only reason that is worth it.
And Coast in the mid lane. Shiphtur's up 6 minions after roaming out of lane. He's finally winning the 1v1.
He's back on Ahri. Yep. I think it's the biggest thing for Shiphtur. He is in his comfort choice when it matters most. Ahri was the champion that he did so well with late in the 2013 season. It's what he beat TSM with this split. It's going to be tough for him to succeed long-term in this game with all the shields, but he needs to make something happen in this lane.
He level 6 first as well, but Probably's got this one. Shiphtur did not ult to get into that fight any deeper, so that summoner spell, or the ulti cooldown rather, is up for him. Nintendude's got himself the Wraith camp. He's pretty far down in levels though. Brokenshard already 5.1. Blue buff will give him another quarter level or so. We'll see how long it takes until Brokenshard has that evolved ultimate. Zion level 4 versus 5, but close to hitting 5 himself. Westrice though with an XP lead.
He does.
What else happens?
The lane swap gives him an edge now, and it demands respect from the rest of Coast. He pushes up incredibly heavily, and that's why NintendudeX was showing near that side of the map just for support in case Westrice decided to do something aggressive.
So now we'll see what happens, because teleport's down for Westrice, but he's roaming through a ward.
Many wards.
And no jungle is available right there.
Look at all the pink wards Coast has bought very early, too. Also, WizFujiiN buys way more consumable wards than other AD carries. He completely opts into helping his team with vision control. Specifically this early pink ward, which will delay his BF sword, but they think they need it right now to stop the roaming of compLexity.
Good dodge by Bubbadub. The binding's there. Daydreamin. He's been able to capitalize off the vision control that Coast typically is able to provide themselves.
Yeah.
Bindings hit, and they get the follow-up, at least they did in the last game. It's a 1,000 gold game right now. Picks would certainly help Coast in this one. But Prolly's kind of been donated farm.
Taking Wraiths with the help of his jungler.
Yeah.
Means they really need him to beat up on Shiphtur. Even if we think back to game 1 of this series, that happened actually. Brokenshard gave him a Wraith early on. They heavily invade Shiphtur's blue buffs. It is a game plan for Prolly to leverage some experience help from Brokenshard and try and take out Shiphtur that way. Because we know a Coast without Shiphtur is not Coast.
It's just kind of a beach. There's no water there. Missing this important element. I don't know.
It's an eroding coastline.
It's an eroding coastline.
Yeah, gonna have a landslide victory for compLexity.Black.
A tsunami is coming. Gotta be careful. Brokenshard is level 6. See if he can make any moves. No Lizard Elder just yet. Probably getting the Wolf Camp as well. So getting some pretty heavy jungle help in golden experience. He goes in for that, but it's Shiphtur going for the early recall. Grabs a needlessly large rod. So once again, DFG Ahri is the build here. Shiphtur wants to one-shot somebody.
And it's against a team of heavily squishy people. Unless compLexity can reactively shield as the DFG comes in, Shiphtur's going to be able to blow somebody up once he gets that.
Nintendo also keeping up in levels. He's 7 off this.
Yeah, no one on compLexity can really build tanky against this. The levels are being kept up on by Nintendo. He hasn't really fallen behind. It's actually a level up, half a level up on Brokenshard.
Yeah.
So farming up, actually, is not something he often does when he falls behind. It's really nice that he's doing it in this moment, though, because that's what he should do.
Yeah. I feel like he's most improved right now for Coast.
In the week since playoffs. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. He's had a much better showing right here than he did in the playoff games. Shiphtur doing the best he can to hold on. He's taking Wraiths now as well, realizing that it's a bit of a farm lane now against Prolly. And we'll see what a late game Lulu can do versus a late game Ahri. Westrice still playing fairly aggressive. Maxing E on this Lee Sin build. Wants the wave clear advantage over ZionSpartan's Mundo, which makes sense for the matchup.
Yeah, ZionSpartan is behind in CS because of the time Westrice spent freezing it, because of the 4-man siege that Coast did down bottom, which really didn't give them any advantages. It's just a matter of if Westrice can make this count. He still hasn't gotten a turret, he still hasn't pulled up much farm, and it's not like he's denying Zion much farm a turret. He's still getting all those creeper last hits.
He absolutely is. So good mechanics under the turret by Zion, but Westrice does allow himself room to move if he wants it. He hasn't cashed in on it just yet. Trinket Ward stays alive. Dragon's on the map. Cocoon lands on a Brokenshard, but a shield blocks pretty much all the damage there. Pink Ward defended. WizFujiiN actually took major damage down to the bottom lane, actually. He burned both summoners to get away from a fight down there. Westrice also claims top turret for this. The lanes being stagnant like this is working for compLexity.Black. It's a turret and summoners burn.
No boots on Zion either, so if he teleports in, he's not going to be a huge threat. He's more just going to be an object that is hard to move. Once Coast goes for a dragon contest, you can tell compLexity is hoping for a catch with Brokenshard sitting smack on top of Pink Ward. It's just out of range, I believe, of that other ward.
They would hit it with that one thing.
Yeah, they would expect it to be seeing that ward. They think they're doing this clean, but they are in full vision, and now they know.
He's gonna go. Westrice could TP in if he wants to, but right now he's not gonna.
Yeah, will Westrice come in? Robert's a little bit low. They're trying to zone him off. Here he comes on Lee Sin. They had to flash away. Now they might look to control Dragon.
Brokenshard on one side, the rest of the team on the other. Q comes out. Brokenshard does have flash.
So far away from the rest of the team, though. He's involved his ultimate. He could try and stealth in since he's avoided ward control. But he knows there's pink wards there, so they would see him when he does this.
Once again, aggro there.
This could be one of those mid lane for Dragon exchanges.
Well, right now, that's the start by Coast there. WizFujiiN and Shiphtur are there to deal the damage. Daydreamin wants to get rid of this ward, but he's got to be careful. Q won't land. The turret is going down pretty rapidly.
And the Dragon has not even been started. This is just a better movement for Coast right now. They get the turret, Dragon isn't even started, and Coast compLexity.Black is trapped.
A bind and a cocoon. Puddle goes down. A lot of damage comes through. Brokenshard down to half. Zion's got to be a bit careful. But the outplay comes through. Westrice. He's going to Q Zion.
Is overpowering them right now. Even though Zion doesn't move fast, he's moving with a lot of purpose at this moment. And he is just pushing compLexity.Black around. Having a true tank against a team that has none, if you're moving as a unit, is a big advantage.
So Coast back to within 1,200 gold right now. Westrice has to be aware that a squishy melee build gets you killed in a team fight. If he's not playing the split push game, he's got to be very wary about how he plays this. Lulu Karma, this early game is not a ton of shielding. You don't max those skills first.
No. All right, just nice moves by Coast right there. Probably doing his best to wave clear, but he was gone from the wave clear and they didn't get anything in return.
So back to within 1,000 gold.
Yeah.
1,000 gold for +2 kills, and I believe it. No, there's no dragons for CLB, right? I don't think we've
Not
seen one
as
go
of
down.
yet.
Yeah. So Coast plus a turret, compLexity.Black up 2 kills, and then minions get them the rest of this gold lead here. Let's see what else these guys can do with this one. Frostfang also for Bubbadub. He's been getting more gold overall. He opened with Spell Thief's Edge, so the 2v1s and all that gave him more money. So that's part of the money lead, I should say. GP10. Westrice setting up blue buff for Prolly here. Really gonna get that one safely. 114 to 118. Mid lane is farming pretty successfully.
Shiphtur has fought his way back in the laning matchup. I would say, considering the help that Prolly's got in this one, he is getting a little bit outlaned by Shiphtur. Shiphtur completing his Deathfire Grasp.
Prolly has a theme
already. Shiphtur didn't have to even go any magic resistance against Prolly. Still kept up his farm. Still didn't lose his turn.
Brokenshard now claims red buff. Still 7 on him. The junglers are not getting XP for quite some time. I guess everyone kind of waited because they're sitting in the dragon
That
pit.
dragon time really delayed the gold in this game from happening. Still no one with dragon, not even a fight to break out right there. And Westrice with no teleport walking up the wrong lane could mean a dragon secure for Coast with ZionSpartan down here.
And CLB a little bit split up. Lucian's on the bottom side. Bubbadub's going to spot this out a little bit with an empowered Q. With the damage coming down fast and furious, Brokenshard does have flash. He's going to go. Doesn't get it. He pops the stealth. He's buying time for the team. Zion forced to run with the ultimate there. Ulti down for Brokenshard.
Key. They are trying to push the mid lane turret and cut Coast off, but I don't know if they have the power to actually cut them off there. They think better of it.
Now some AoE and slow comes in, and look at that, mid turret is claimed. No, Westrice gets rooted up. He takes a bunch of damage. Charmed up as well. He explodes. 1 kill for the turret. Elite's forced to repel out away towards the camp, but Coast super low on health.
Yeah, they might try to continue this push despite being in a 5v4. They're going for it right now. They got to be extremely careful.
Well, Charm comes out, bit of rocket clear as well. It's going to be just enough to keep the turret alive. Daydreamin low again.
Yeah, they got to back away.
Coast got to do this fast, though. There's a minion wave in 15 seconds.
This seems unwise for them to stick around, but they are definitely doing it. Deathfire Grasp is down. If a Charm lands, if a Binding lands, someone on compLexity.Black would die with this next push. And they are still down a man. Westrice is just respawning now. There's the Binding.
Binding and the Flame Charmers. Brokenshard's in turret range. He jumps away. The shield just enough to keep him alive.
My word. He is below a sliver of health, it feels like. There's nothing left there, but he does not die. Oh, man. They're clinging to this lead. They've... Whoa.
That's a big heal from the W.
Oh, my God.
It's fine. Come on. He's practiced.
He is so practiced at that. That is a dangerous move by Brokenshard. He had the Lizard Elder, so he had a lot of health and mana event.
Gonna bear it with this one. Let's see what else happens now. compLexity.Black, with all those moves, held on to that 1k gold lead. Ever since that turret for nothing, these trades have actually proved equal.
I'd say Coast is actually starting to gain a little bit of momentum here. 2 kills onto WizFujiiN's Jinx. ZionSpartan getting later and later on the Mundo against Lee Sin. He's going to get to a point where he will just straight up ignore Westrice, I feel like.
Yeah, right to the point here. We're talking about how the matchups progress over the course of the match, right?
Yeah.
ZionSpartan continually doing well against Westrice. No surprise there. The fact that Shiphtur's holding equal is really nice. The one I want to talk about, though, WizFujiiN has more gold. Hold on, taking a bunch of damage. Westrice, big kick there. The Summoner heal might keep him safe. He's got Daydreamin coming in. The Binding!
No.
But here comes Brokenshard. The flash, not going to matter. Kill picked up, leaps forward. The ulti burned, Q lands, not good for Daydreamin. Pops the ultimate himself, goes down. Cocoon on Westrice, Nintendude's got to be careful though. There's still people around. Jumps back towards Prolly. He's got Shiphtur around. Is it enough to keep the team safe though? Here comes ZionSpartan. Prolly has flash, lands a Glitter Lance, gets away from the Cocoon. Here comes Bubbadub
Interesting
now.
flash right there because he's not in position to support his team, but they still get, all right, 2 kills. While Lucian was in the top lane, so speaking of that momentum, speaking of WizFujiiN being 2-0, speaking of Westrice being able to ignore Mundo, all right, he will ignore Mundo. He's not going to ignore Jinx, though. As long as Westrice can go around and make plays like this, getting the hit on and then kicking him back, the heal is what made it seem like he kicked him a little too early because WizFujiiN burned it. It was a nice binding by Daydreamin, but then it ended up overcommitting himself because there was a nice flank that came in from Brokenshard. And overall, that was, again, just compLexity.Black's want to make a play and having it work out some of the time. This was one of the times where it worked out quite well.
And it got him another 1,000 gold here. So 26.5 to 24.5. Fighting for every advantage they possibly can. This series is 2-1. CLB can take the series with this game.
Probably actually has a Sheen right now.
Lichbane, okay.
Yeah, that would be a very, very Lichbane.
Well, there's 2 ways I've seen this. I've seen just Sheen, to where he just like, I'm just gonna outpush you, and I am a big turret threat, because I will get these Sheen procs on a turret. Or I've seen just complete the Lichbane, it's my damage build instead of going for death cap.
Because I really love the death cap on Lulu, since half of her power is in her shields, and just the utility scaling on the percentage slow of Glitter Lance and the right speed from her W. Sometimes I don't even like upgraded Sorcerer Shoes, or you get a really late Void Staff as well because you're not really about the Maddie penetration. I would like it if he went Sheen straight to death cap, but yeah, we'll see what he does.
See what the build ends up being. Probably how much individual plays do you want to make, right? Mobility, extra burst damage, we'll see what it ends up being. Shiphtur level 12 right now. Does have Sorc Shoes, did open up with Flask at level 1 to help him keep the laning phase going. Seems like that was effective there in getting him into a decent spot. Coast once again control pink wards. They want the dragon, and they're a minute and a half early to make sure they've got the wards to do it. They've got the sweeper. I think they saw the ward go down. They did. Just barely in range. But ROBERTxLEE untouched here in the top lane. No one's there to stop him whatsoever.
He's had a lot of free time lately, and he's the sneak attack carry here. Because they're not worried about Westrice outscaling ZionSpartan, which is why they're actually using Lucian as a split pusher to make sure a lot of farm is channeled onto him. Because a really farmed Lucian will be enough if they get late enough in the game.
All right, this turret close to going down. I think it'll just survive, but only barely. It's like 30 health left in that thing. Zion holds the turret for now. 24. 20% off. Shiphtur's still wave clearing though. One thing I do like about DFG builds though is your AEP is higher than if you ran for an Athenes. It makes it easier to land for the Q to one-shot casters.
For sure.
It's a pretty important point for RO to be able to do that.
Shiphtur needs to one-shot people as well.
True.
Which is incredibly important. 20 seconds to this dragon. If Coast doesn't control this dragon, it's going to be really hard for them to come back in this game at all. And they're already down 2-1 in this series. The importance of these next 5 minutes are just unspeakable. Coast is a team that has been in the LCS, if you follow the players, since the inception of the LCS. 2013 spring split, summer split, this spring split. This is just so damn important for them. Nice ward there by NintendudeX, trying to get control and the binding.
Binding on a Brokenshard. Cocoon's going to hit. He turns stealth, but it's going to be enough to get him out for this one.
But the ultimate's burned.
Yeah.
That is huge for this impending dragon fight. It basically means Coast controls it, and less compLexity.Black goes crazy.
Brokenshard has flash. He can look for the steal. Zion puts wards down to spot this one.
He's the type of player who would try.
They'll get it. But top lane turret will go down for that one. No one's there to respond. No TPs. Westrice now knocking on the inhibitor turret door.
Daydreamin is a little bit low, so the Morgana ultimate's not big of a catch threat. But the Ahri absolutely is. Zion walking in with a lot of confidence with that black shield on.
Potential 5v5, not going to turn into anything though. Mid lane turret though, down low, about 1/3 health. CLB wins the fight, they can take that turret quickly. And it's again the offensive build for Lisa and Westrice. Hydra into Last Whisper.
Yeah, he's looking to assassinate as much as possible. He wants to be a threat to ZionSpartan as well. And he kind of is. That type of Lee Sin build at this point in the game does so much damage. And Westrice is comfortable on assassins. That is what he really made his name on.
Yeah, he is. The difficulty though is probably going Lichbane. He's got the first component of an Ether Wisp. True. Lichbane builds out of an Amptome now, so that seems to be the build he's going for, which means comparatively lower shield for Westrice. And the catch! Westrice ignited! There's the 1-on-1 kill by Shiphtur.
I'm gonna have to take another look at that one to see exactly how it happened because he didn't return any fire to Shiphtur and ended up burning his flash away. Bad news for compLexity.Black right there. But they have been doing a lot to work. Let's see, Shiphtur's waiting around the corner.
Oh, wow. He predicted the Q, basically.
Yeah.
That was
Shiphtur's waiting around the corner, knew he'd go in for it, got in front of the minion wave. Just using Fog of War to his own advantage. Great play by Shiphtur there.
Finding Bubbadub. Kills it with a sweeper. Yeah, put a new one down there. Coast now, they're looking to group at the bottom side. Probably's on the wrong side of the map, forced to recall. It's a 4v4, actually. Shiphtur on the same. No Westrice. He does have teleport, though. 3 members of CLB here to defend.
Nice wave clear. Really great wave clear.
Absolutely.
Not even letting them reach.
I wonder when the next time a Kha'Zix evolves his W for the extra wave clear. Shooting out the extra spine shoot from the side.
With how powerful the ultimate evolution
Well, yeah.
is right now, I feel like that will almost
I guess you
not
can't
happen
forsake the
again.
others either.
Yeah.
I've seen it once in a while.
Yeah, solo lane Kha'Zix does it sometimes. I don't think jungle Kha'Zix has the ability to, though.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Does add more slow, I believe, right?
I'll have to get back to you on that. I'm not sure. This game, though, 24 minutes in. 3,000 gold lead for compLexity.Black. They're trying to siege up this mid turret. They have to always be careful, though, with no true tank. A true tank's about to teleport right to their face, though. Lands a cleaver.
Zion goes in. The ulti Karma Shield keeps the team a little bit farther back. Zion now down to about 2/3, but regenning back up. The mid lane Lee Sin, though, takes that one down. So the split push working for CLB.
Westrice is trying to give Zion a taste of his own medicine, pushing with a squishy Lee Sin against a tank who can't find the right team fights. He gets about half of that middle turret as well.
It's even more than that. Look at that thing. It's going to regen 180 a minute, but Westrice, he's got the tools to get away from this one. CLB now pushing the bottom lane. That turret's going to be going down very soon. Binding Cocoon both miss, and another turret now 6-3.
I told you I'd get back to you on the void spikes as well. It increases the slow by 10%, 20 to 30%. But,
And a blue buff steal.
darn. 25 minutes in, a bunch goes down for compLexity.Black right there.
Now they completely outplay the map. The split push is working for these guys. CLB completely playing this one right. Just on the other sides of the game for this one. We saw this before from Coast in game 1. And we'll see if this continues down this path.
And Nintendude's doing this cooldown boots on Elise again, but he's way behind on his items. And I feel like that only really works when you're ahead on Elise to chain the stuns together. Otherwise, you just end up having minimal to no impact.
Yeah. He's 1,000 gold behind Brokenshard right now.
Yeah.
6 to 7k.
Brokenshard going fairly tanky. He's actually, I think, going to try and be the tank himself on Kha'Zix right here. 50% damage reduction, plus all the shields they can throw on him. 50% damage reduction when he's stealth in his ultimate.
Yes.
Of course. Is going to have to be the tank if they want to end up finishing this game.
And looking at Merc Treads as well. A team like this, you really want Mercury Treads. Already picked up for Westrice. In the recipe here for Brokenshard. I expect that to come through pretty soon. Mikhail's, of course, already there for Bubbadub. Doesn't seem to be stopping Coast too much. If they pick anyone without him nearby, the guy's going down anyway.
Yeah, and this is such a tricky point in this game, Freak. As far as compLexity.Black is concerned, too, if we think about kind of where they've been before, this is uncharted territory for these guys. They were 3-0'd in last year's promotion series. They don't want to let it go to Game 5. Coast has won Game 5s before in the promotion tournament. They would lose all of the momentum. Being up by 4,000 gold in this game is probably the best chance compLexity.Black will ever have of making it into the LCS, right here and now.
Well, Westrice, though, he's in a tough spot. He's going to teleport out from the brush. The Q lands, and Zion's going to realize he's TP'd away. 3-minute cooldown on that. Good escape.
It was a good escape. It didn't give them anything, though. That's the thing. It's a great individual play that he was able to suck people up into that point. But the overall scheme of the game, it doesn't matter. They didn't have any other pressure anywhere. They can't get blues, dragons, turrets, barons, anything off that. He just really loses his teleport.
Yep. It did cost a ward from ZionSpartan, though, so hey.
Yeah.
Got something back there. 4 sweepers for Coast right now. 3 for compLexity.Black. Both teams trying to deny vision. Picks very important for both teams. Catching people out when they move between turrets. Catching people out just on a move towards a dragon, which is coming up right now, actually. ROBERTxLEE clearing away a jungle camp as he gets ready for this one. Nintendo going to start this right away. Coast think they're there first. No TP for Westrice. and Coast are collapsing first.
Yeah, Coast getting another clean drag, and this is really going to keep the gold for them. If you look at this game as it progresses towards later and later, the Jinx will be incredibly potent, and if Shiphtur finds the catch on a squishy target, it will still be the one-shot throughout this entire game. The more dragons they can secure like this, the longer they make the game, and the closer they get to that all-important Game 5.
Well, a bit of a slow on a Daydreamin probably is finding some places to put damage down. Certainly he's got that. Look at Daydreamin though, he's actually added a giant spell. He's like, I really need to be tanky. I need to not get blown up by Kha'Zix. I think Randuin's is his goal.
Perhaps. There is a heavy amount of physical damage if you don't count Lulu, because she's really not doing much yet. A forced Baron right here, but Pink ward's up, great ward control, and they saw where WizFujiiN was. Bubbadub's going to try and zone these guys off, scare them, maybe trick them into thinking they're not doing it. Coast is not fooled. They're going to go in. This could be a steal attempt by
Nintendude.
Nintendude.
About this, Nintendude very, very low, takes a bunch of damage.
They got him.
Kicked and picked off. Now the push in towards
Shiphtur's
the fairy
gonna go
pit. 1 for 0. Shiphtur wants this, puts damage down, smite it away. That goes to CLB. Will there be any trade kills? Shiphtur, he's gonna flash away, but goes down. It's a 2 for 1 so far. What else is gonna happen? The shield and a Brokenshard, he is safe. WizFujiiN in the battle, exploded, and here comes Kha'Zix. Will compLexity.Black get any more? The cleaver, not quite gonna do enough, but WizFujiiN gets a kill back into Brokenshard. Westrice trying to escape. 2 for 2 with Baron going to CLB.
And Westrice looks like he could make it away. He's got to find something to jump to.
He's out of energy.
He's out of energy. He's going down. Oh, man. So it turns into a 3 for 2, but the Baron for compLexity.Black. This could have went either way. It could have been the game. Coast actually gets a turn push out of this one because the Baron goes to compLexity. But
watch out for Prolly.
man,
That guy's gonna hurt a lot.
you need to think about this. Look at how many wards the compLexity.Black put around the Baron pit. There's probably 15. Everyone used their entire ward allotment for the map in a 1/4 of it, just so they could get that Baron. But then they scattered for the fight. That's the craziest thing. Everyone hopped the wall for Nintendude, and they got trapped on opposite sides of it. Some people for Coast came around, others stayed up. And yes, they could get the Baron because they had the smite. And then instead of fighting with their shields and their Baron buff, they decided to split up. Yes, Prolly was low, and so was Bubbadub, but consider if compLexity.Black stayed in here with the shields. Since Westrice and Brokenshard decided to re-engage, they probably would have clean aced them at that point. They may have been able to take the Baron, the ace, and up the middle for an inhibitor, but because the two supports, so to speak, stayed back and did not support, they ended up losing 3 and a turret, and it keeps the gold close.
Yeah, Bubbadub got hit right away by Shiphtur. Bubbadub actually outplayed it. He burned the Ignite, he burned 2 of the 3 ulti charges and the DFG and got out. Bubbadub tanked all of Shiphtur's burst and lived.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge moves.
Couldn't participate in the fight after that. But Shiphtur didn't do any damage that fight at all, except to get someone away from the battle. Blue buff will go to Shiphtur though for this one. Of course, great play by CLB to push Nintendude down right away. And we're back to a 4,000 gold game.
We're actually kind of back to as if the Baron didn't happen, which is crazy to think.
Uh-oh.
Can he land the Q?
Trap.
He does.
No. WizFujiiN's trying to run towards his team, but the kick in the back of the head, Westrice again gets the 1v1.
Assassination, and where do they go from here is another big question. They're going to try and push up all the lanes again and get a siege going. They only have 35 seconds to do so, though. What's crazy about that Baron take is when you pay that much for wards, you're trying to buy something on the map. compLexity.Black was trying to invest and buy a Baron via Vision. That's how much money they spent there. And since even though they got the Baron, they gave up 3 kills, 3 deaths, and ended up losing the Baron buff half the time anyway, it really didn't buy them much. It's almost a 0-sum for them. And now because they got to catch on to WizFujiiN, independent of the Baron, they're going for a bit of a siege up top.
Well, the 2 mages at least have a Baron buff on them for a short time. Damage comes out to Shiphtur. Good culling. Partially blocked there by Nintendude. Turret's going to stay healthy for now. But we'll see what else can happen. Bottom lane, mid lane, all these lanes pushing in towards Coast's base. Zion can be the one roaming back and forth to hold the lanes as they push in. Shiphtur does have the ulti, but compLexity.Black, look at this. A pink ward on their side of the wall to get wards, to make sure there's no defensive wards there by Coast to watch their movements back and forth.
Yeah, this is tricky, to say the least. Westrice is the squishy guy. Coast knows all about this. They know what the split pushing Lee Sin is capable of. As long as ZionSpartan can stay deep outside the turret and not let the wave arrive, Westrice would never be able to ignore him for turret damage, and the rest of Coast could hold 4v4. That's what Coast is looking to do with this siege.
Robert hasted away, dodges everything else right there. ZionSpartan taking massive damage from Westrice.
Still does have his ultimate, though. pops it right there. Doesn't want to get too low. Risk of execution.
Cocoon on a ROBERTxLEE. Is that going to be enough to get the kill? Shiphtur can't charm him. Robert gets out, and Mikhails is burned by Bubbadub. He shields the zap onto himself.
That's rather big. If another charm or cocoon lands, it's a dead person, it seems like, for Complexity, unless they get exactly the right shields down. Zion did have to go back as well. This could be the wave where turrets fall. This is what compLexity.Black has been waiting for, and we may see an initiation by Coast.
Charm on a Brokenshard. Cocoon won't quite land, and there's a push in. This turret losing more health down to 1/3. WizFujiiN trying to wave clear. 2 items. There's 2 items the AD carries.
Bindings.
Find that a Brokenshard will get rooted up as well. Big damage though. Shiphtur forced to retreat from the culling.
That's how long these sieges have been going, too. That's the second culling on this turret alone. Yes, it gains, as you said, 180 health a minute, but they push them back. They might finally break through this turret. What a huge siege stance by compLexity.Black.
Just go hard for it, and they get it. WizFujiiN's got no mana to participate there. Westrice still holding a 2-level lead. He's almost 18. Zion almost 16. So rank 3 ulti will be available next wave. We'll see how that's going to pan out right there, but another turret got earned by compLexity.Black, 6.2 thousand gold. It was 1K not long ago.
Correct. And that siege took a while, to say the least. We're actually 2 minutes away from the next Baron. They were really in that one for the long haul, but they stuck through it, they were patient, and it's really incredible how powerful their shields were because they were eating dark bindings. And they were stacking so many shields on people that it was never beneficial for Shiphtur to actually go in, and they never actually got harassed down because they could shield so proficiently.
Everyone cutting back and forth. It worked really well. Westrice did a great job in the duel versus ZionSpartan. Forced him back a number of times. You're seeing now the Dragon getting soloed. Nobody bothering to stop him. There's actually no way for Westrice to jump the wall without flash.
Yeah, he's out of trinkets.
No wards there at all, but he knew no one would check. There's no control.
I actually kind of like that Westrice didn't go for the Sightstone. Decent.
I do too.
Because he needs so much combat effectiveness against Mundo in this game.
Yeah. But he's very much itemized for the split push. If he joins a team fight, I don't know if Banshee's Giant Spell's enough to keep himself alive. You get a cleaver to block the Banshees, and Shiphtur can still one-shot you.
Yeah, with the shields, though. And the Wild Growth. I mean, Probably's death cap will be pretty huge in this one as well. Wild Growth currently is a 763 health, 600 base, and then only 163 from the ability power. Because Probably isn't fully powered up yet, as far as Lulu is concerned. With that death cap, the shields have become much more efficient and could very well shut down a lot of Shiphtur's damage.
compLexity.Black, they put a pink ward down. They're ready to buy another Baron for themselves.
They're trying.
A defensive pink for Nintendude. There's a sweep. CLB knows they're safe. Cocoon.
Careful.
Gonna hit Bub. No, flashing quickly to get away from that one. He was ready to have to react to that.
Yeah. You have to question the mindset of being willing to flash away if people are there and still going. He has really long-range skill shots he can check.
Yeah, just like
he just waits 2 seconds. But the impatience cost him his flash there. We'll see if that comes in handy for Coast if they can catch him out. Plus, they lose the ward control.
And they're going to lose blue buff now.
They lose bottom if they don't respond to this ZionSpartan Mundo.
Level 19, or sorry, 17. 19 would be pretty incredible.
That'll be rather cheap.
But he's catching up to Westrice in levels, who's spiked. That's 18. No more levels for Westrice. If he keeps split pushing, XP is going to waste there. Shiphtur 16. Nintendude's got a lot of levels to catch up, though. It's 15 versus 13 for the junglers.
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty sizable lead.
And the Baron has been started. We really have to hit on how important this game is for compLexity.Black. They lost the last game. They do not want this to go to game 5. One more win, and they are in the LCS, knocking Coast out for the first time since the LCS has existed. What a huge moment up. 7,000 gold, really just needing to close. They do not have a true tank, so they are doing the split push strategy. High risk, high reward.
Well, Zion at half, he's going to pop the Randuins. When's the ulti come out? He's trying to get away without having to use it, or to bait in Westrice farther. Down to 1,000, doesn't have to press it.
At this point, he would maybe want the Baron to be forced by his team, but his team was going back to shop. So a little bit desynced. He's just trying to play his own minigame with Zion right here, not let him shop.
Zion, he's got to be careful, though. If Westrice gets the combo, he could nearly kill him, pops the ulti. That's a cooldown burn. Zion actually still on the run. Westrice, great wave. They're going to get this wave right back to the inhibitor.
Pop the ultimate. He should time that one if he's played a lot of Mundo and make sure the compLexity.Black, if they're going to force before that matters. Now, whether that's a Baron force or a sneak force for compLexity is yet to be seen. They're actually faking the Baron, catching Nintendude out, but they don't even have Prawley there.
He's down to half. The binding come out in time. The zap will come through. No bind. Nintendude massively low.
Prawley still hasn't shown. So Coast doesn't know that there's actually two people trying to push down their inhibitor on the bottom side. Now they do.
are. Okay, Zion, no ulti, has a red buff. Can he stop anyone? I doubt he can stop Westrice here. Look how fast his turret's falling, probably down to half HP. Zion, actually dangerously low as well, kicked away.
They don't even get it.
Nintendude. They go for Westrice, Cocoon won't land. 3v3 on the other side.
They are actually inside the Baron pit, trying to do the Baron as well right now. They have to peel off.
Daydreamin, the binding flash by Robert, he goes in. Daydreamin forced to flash away. Chompers come out for WizFujiiN, but here comes Westrice. The teleport on the other side though, can Westrice get out? Will not get stunned, but the rocket, it gets healed up. The team is safe. Westrice does go down. 1 kill for Coast.
Teleported in at low health and then could not land his Q. That's a 60-second death timer. ZionSpartan ultimate is back up. They are chasing down compLexity.
Flash Cocoon onto Robert. He gets exploded. Does not get any damage through. Now Prawley chased down, slowed up a little bit, and that's a kill. 2 members alive, only 2 for CLB. How good's your smite, Brokenshard?
We said that was high-risk moves right there. They tried the sneak attack with Prawley. It failed. The teleport also failed. They do not want this going to game 5, but this would be a miraculous smite. He doesn't quite have his ultimate back up. Baron is at half. It should be up by the time he goes in for steal, but they do not even want to make this an attempt. Look at the zoning by Zion.
He could leap flash if he wanted to go super hard. He leaps.
He does. He wants to go hard. He doesn't even have enough mana right now.
He's got flash. The damage comes in. The smite comes through. The charm was there in time. Coast pick up the Baron, and they're going to chase Brokenshard. He leaps up in 3 seconds, flashes the wall, smites for health, and actually blocks a cleaver because it aggroes the Wraiths, and he gets away.
Whoa.
Oh, he's going for an hib.
That would be
No, he's not.
He's just trying to live right now, but wow, freak. This series has gotten crazy. To go the extra couple feet there for Brokenshard.
Oh, smart.
Saved his life.
Mind game the skill shot.
One smart move right there, but compLexity lost control of the game in that last exchange. Wow. The Baron buff has went to all 5 people of Coast. The death caps have been completed. The Thornmail has been completed on ZionSpartan as well. Jinx has made it to late game. Everything Coast needed to do, or everything Coast needed to happen, happened right there.
Well, now here's the real test. You've got a Baron buff, and you've got to work back from a 4,000 gold deficit. Coast going to do everything they can to make this happen. Prawley, 17.5, has a fresh blue buff. Daydreamin helping to push down mid. Mid tier 2 mid tier 2 turret's already low from a prior push. This should be a quick one for Coast, but then the rest of the test comes through. Top inhibitor is opened right now.
There's no teleport on Westrice, and he is showing on the inhibitor side of the map. This is a 5-man team late game comp with Baron. Coast can just go for the inhibitor right now. The tank is real.
Well, it's going to be the recall for Westrice, so the inhibitor turret's going to fall. Coast keep moving forward. Again, they've got Baron buff. This puts them ahead on stats.
Westrice is still not going back. Poor judgment across the board here for compLexity.Black with everything on the line. Coast is using their experience, their savvy, and they're pulling this out.
How quick can Coast recall, though? The inhib's going to fall, and maybe more if no one stops him.
He might actually get that one. You're absolutely right. He's doing a lot. They are worried about recalling too soon because that could get interrupted. And they're going to look to head him off and maybe get a kill. But yes, inhibitor down.
Okay, Nintendu comes from the front. Westrice burns his spells, jumps to the minions. That's like a long cooldown till the leap is back up.
He is dead. It's going to cost a direct.
All right, there you go. Jumps forward. WizFujiiN gets a preemptive black shield. There's finally the spell shield burned. And Westrice goes down. Inhib for inhib. Minions in the top side right now. And it's going to be actually a dragon, though.
Yeah.
CLB trade their top laner for that.
All right. So, even so, that was an exposed inhibitor taken down by Westrice versus an inhibitor they may have been able to defend because there was still a turret in front of it. Remember how much compLexity.Black had to work to get that inhibitor the first time versus how easily Coast pushed that one down because there weren't 5 people defending. Coast this whole time has wanted to force 5v5s, and now they can with the armor level of ZionSpartan. They're going to look for inhibitor number 2 here. They will tank this one, and they're going to force compLexity.Black to fight them or give it up because Westrice is dead.
25 seconds of 5 versus 4. Top inhib turret going to fall. The siege continues. 20 seconds to Westrice's back means inhibitor number 2 also going to drop. Now the minions are already down in the mid lane with a super minion, but that's not something that Coast want to go for.
The real question is, can Coast actually get 3 inhibitors off of all this? They've swung so much of this game back for them. They want to shop right now because they're all sitting on 1,500 to 1,000 gold. And they just need to take advantage of that fact. They have really turned this game around.
Now here's the question. I feel like there's two things that Coast can buy right now, or go for right now. They can set up the siege for the bottom lane. They know mid and top will hold itself, or they let the inhibs kind of almost respawn and just own Baron Vision and say, we'll play you in 5 minutes when Baron respawns.
Right.
Or when we get Baron and go back for the siege.
I think they can do both. I think they can get vision control because they're stronger 5v5 after they set up a siege bottom lane. There's definitely one exposed turret that they can get for free that is going to be uncontestable by compLexity.Black. And even with the 5v5 strength, because Baron's about to wear off of them, they might even be able to force the third inhibitor down. And then just wait. Then they get the Baron, because there's 3 waves of super minions in the base.
Well, WizFujiiN going to be the primary wave clear offensively. Nintendo going to tank the turret. Tier 2 turret not going to be defended there by Coast. Repel puts the aggro onto the minions, and Daydreamin going to look for vision control now. Here's the siege. The recall going to be there roughly in time for Westrice. There's probably for the wave clear. Little Lance going to miss. Binding hits. This turret taking a whole bunch of damage. Coast not slowing down. The flank TP is coming in. This is the battle. The flash away. WizFujiiN not going to get queued. Zion taking massive punishment on the backside. He's forced to run away. The Chomper is on cooldown as well. The re-engage. Westrice jumps back away through minions. The Zap going to remove the spell shield. And they go in. That's the turret going down. Zion, though, dangerously low. He's got to be careful. Kick back. Nintendude in the air. Ooh. He goes down. 1 for 0. The back lane running away. Shiphtur going to get rooted. This could be the fight for CLB. They pick up 2 kills.
But where do they go? They're going to keep chasing right now. There will be super minions in their base. Probably low. 3 kills. 60-second death timers here free.
Dark Binding comes out. Daydreamin flashes the wall. ROBERTxLEE not going to chase through, but Bubbadub will. Guesses the wrong corner. Daydreamin looks for Brokenshard.
Unless they send someone back to base, their Nexus will die. Zion is teleporting, trying for the back door.
Here we go. ZionSpartan is going to find turret number 1, and there's minions coming to help. The recalls. compLexity.Black, they won't get anything out of this, but maybe a kill.
But how much are they really recalling? Fusion going for the base on the other side. Prawley is back, trying to finish off ZionSpartan. This could just be a base dance.
It's going to be Zion going down. That's 4 kills. That goes to compLexity.Black. ROBERTxLEE.
Exposed inhibitor, super minions going through as well. The inhibitor is not respawning. They're trying to win the game on the other side and take it into the LCS.
There we go. Daydreamin, the only guy to defend. The turret going down. He goes for Robert. Here comes Westrice. This could be the game. compLexity.Black. They've got minions in the base. They kick back Nintendude. The Nexus is falling. Is it going to be enough? Robert takes it down. compLexity.Black make it into the LCS.
Wow, freak.
Wow.
Not 1, but 2 games are won when they're pushed back to their base, losing 1 Nexus turret, and they end up taking the series 3-1. That could have went either way, easily. What a moment for these guys. Westrice has waited so long to make it into the LCS. Brokenshard has spent a year in North America here in the challenger scene trying to make it in.